we found what we're looking for. As you can see, it's right next to where I set my bag. I've got good instincts. I had a feeling, and we walked around the whole place, and now we found it. It's right where we started. Isn't that a little lesson about life's journeys, about how you go searching for things and find out it's always been where you were the whole time? Oh, this is one of the OG buildings on campus. So what we're doing, we're down here in the basement because we've got everything, our cables that we gotta hook up are pulled down here by the cable team. It looks like they got all their cabling pulled in, and so the next phase is to take all of these cables, which are inputs and outputs, and I have to land them on a security panel, and then we have to program that panel to tell it what those inputs and outputs do. And I mean, it's kind of like raising a child, because a lot of people take things as negative or positive, but in the end, it's all just stimulus and how you react to it. So these inputs are just stimulus on the system. Could be a panic button. That would be negative. It could be a card reader. Access granted. That's positive. The output, that's also important. How do we react to these situations? When we get a negative response, do we do a negative reaction? Do we set off all the speakers and loud noise and let everyone know, or are we just going to send a quiet alarm to ETPD? I don't know, we'll see. But that's the fun part. You get to choose your own adventure in this shop, and it's kind of like life. Because just like everything else, it's stimulus coming in, and then it's up to you to program how you output. So now we just do it with electronics. So I guess we'll go back upstairs. Here we are, Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. He's originally from Oklahoma, graduated from there, then went to go coach my state of North Carolina, and then moved here shortly after, coaching other places in New England, becoming pretty much the winningest coach in history. You've never had a losing season ever as a coach. Championships, titles. This man built this place. Hey, we're just enjoying the view out here. This is an amazing view of the stadium. Where we're standing now is actually above the visitor side tunnel, and we're about to go all the way down to the field and walk from the visitor side to the home side, so that you can see what it's like to try to score a touchdown on this field. It's a long, hot walk. We made it to the end zone, y'all. This is where I spend my weekend gig playing a 1,500-pound bull, Bevo. That's me. This is what it takes. You got to go all the way from that end of the field, all the way to this end of the field. And then you got to try to score an extra point with that sun staring right in your eye. Oh, you better run that ball in. You gonna miss that field goal. It's too hot for all that, y'all. Now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna walk straight across. We're gonna walk these losers visiting team all the way back to their end zone. We got, starting off, we got Bo Bevo, and then we have Bevo the second, and then we got Bevo the third, Bevo the fourth, Bevo the fifth, Bevo the sixth, Bevo the seventh. Basically, hopefully one day you'll see my picture up here. You know, maybe if I'm good enough, one day I'll be up on my family's Hall of Fame. If not, I'll end up at Terry Black's. You know what I mean? That's what a steer's got to do around here. Megan told him to just say no, and there he was saying yes to guarding an opium field. I'm telling you, Sarge was very conflicted as a young man. He's a very wonderful person.
Accidentally blew up an opium field. That's drug abuse.
That's right. We're gonna have to get the production up.
Drug abuse.
But here's the thing, folks. I'm telling you right now, we can't depend on the Afghans. We gave them over $20 billion over 20 years. And they waited till after we left to boogaloo with Pakistan. I'm telling you, they're not reliable. What we need to do is recover our assets as well as all that wonderful opium and grow it here in America. We're gonna make opium wonderful again. Not just great, not just terrific. It's going to be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful like the Wu-Tang. Also from New York City, a wonderful group.
babies. I mean, the woman made them. The mankind made him ornery. He's got some shit to say. You better fucking believe it. Here comes the one, the only, Mr. Sarge, Brendan Mahany.
You're right, I do have a lot to say. First thing is, how dare you assume my mother's pronouns? Okay?
My bad.
That's right. Why I joined the National Guard. You're so hardcore, why don't you just go active duty, bro? I'm pretty sure it's because I have commitment issues. I mean, 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer? That's just like visitation schedule with my dad. Let's go, Uncle Sam! Woo!
Okay, that was last week's episode. This is my time, okay? My time. So why, if you want to make it big with the ladies, don't do comedy. Pick up guitar. If we had a guitar, we could close that deal, I'm telling you. But the sunset, even more beautiful than the women. Lady Bird Lake, it's not even a real lake. We made it with this dam. It used to just be a river. Yeah. What a great place to talk about origins and processes, because so much of it is, for me, is here. I grew up in the Maine woods, so that's where a lot of the origin of my humor and my process comes from. For me, I was always a comedian, but it was a self-preservation tactic. Jokes as a defense. Like, for instance, maybe dad had a bad day at work. Maybe mom had something smart to say. So, seeing what was about to happen, hey dad, a funny thing happened to me on the way to school today. Try to dissolve the tension in the household, But, and then the big thing, honestly, is when I got into the military, is when I really started developing my humor because everybody in the military in the 90s through the early 2000s, we pretty much spent all of our off time playing Halo and watching Comedy Central Presents. So, you know, in my household growing up, like that was the channels that were allowed were like Fox News, the History Channel, and Comedy Central. So, you know, that was a big intro to the world of it and different players of the game. But it was still just like, you know, I could never do that. How could I don't even know where to start. I didn't, you know, I'd never heard of an open mic. But in the military, I met, honestly, some of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I'm not even like the fifth funniest person I know in the Army. Okay? My friends are way funnier than me. And it's ironic because they now, after I got on Kill Tony, they call and try to get me to tell their story. You know, and I'm like, I can't, that's not how that's your story. Like, no, it's okay. You can tell them it's not your story, but just, dude, tell it. No, grab a microphone. Go get a mic. Go do the thing. So I'm doing it for the homies that won't do it for themselves. So one of us has got to represent, you know? Then I went to combat, and then I just went full blown Deadpool mode. I was literally the guy cracking jokes while we're getting shot at, returning fire with punchlines, and I just couldn't turn it off. I mean, it's just who I am at this point in my life. And then I got cracked in the head 3 times by a sniper, and that just, I think, you know, kind of like Roseanne Barr when she had head trauma as a child, and Sam Kinison hit by a bus or hit by a drunk driver when he was a kid. It becomes a stellar comedian, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm stellar, but damn, I can't turn it off. You know what I mean? There's something about brain injuries. It tunes you into a different frequency. It gets you thinking about things a different way. But anyway, you know, I finally, you know, during COVID, that's when things started opening up. And I started looking at doing this for real. I started looking at life for real. Like, this is a reset, chance to do things different. Went back to school, looking to improve my life, and then came to Austin for 2 weeks on summer vacation. And in 2 weeks, I did more mics and just show up, go up, boom, 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 boom. I was like, I can develop so quickly here. I have to be here. Just want to take this opportunity to kind of talk about how my day job integrates with my night job, comedy. You know, I write jokes a lot like I wire panels. I always would wire up a panel, take a picture, go back, look at it, see what I could have done better. How can I make a little bit of improvement and do a little bit better next time? Same thing with comedy. I record everything I do. If it's not a video, it's audio, and I listen to it. And some of those jokes that I thought were so clever and just, I realized I wrote those for me and not for the audience because they did not work. And you summarily remove that, make the set a little bit better, just like the panel gets a little bit better. Incremental improvement spread out over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of attempts. Constant improvement is the goal. Whether I win a competition or not, it doesn't matter. As long as I was 1% better than yesterday, I win. So that's my philosophy, my personal outlook. So take that and put it in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, that's it. I'm done.